Awesome. Jen, do you have the presentation ready and can share, please?
Yep, sure.
I'm excited for this one. Lisa,
I know.
you are
I
driving.
am too.
So there's a little bit of writing involved. So just know there is a replay for those who are joining us, not live or who are driving, but it's also a very nice contemplative type of session this time around. Hi, Janet and Tati. It's so nice to see you both. And Carolyn.
Hello. I'm
going
to need to be off camera, but I'm fully present.
No problems at all. We will take you however you want to join.
Excellent. Okay, let's get going. So today's call, we're welcoming everybody. We are recording the call just so everybody knows, and we will ask you respectively to put your computer or your mic on mute, just out of respect for everybody else. And we appreciate you guys all being here. So today is going to be primarily Anna Maria is going to lead the call today. And she's going to talk about Beyond Your Book. And of course, it is the year-end celebration edition, which is phenomenal. I actually am continually surprised by the fact that we are now in December. I actually kept writing November. It's like, okay, Julie, it's December. Before we know it's going to be the middle of the month. So, and then the end of the month. So, of course, it's about turning your message into a movie and transforming your book into whatever you wish it may become, whether it's going to become a course or maybe interactive or a program. There's lots of ideas. And I know that quite often Anna Maria and Jen get on calls and we all talk about different creative ideas. So this is meant to be fun, interactive. I know that Anna Maria has some exercises for you. So let's get going on the agenda now.
Yeah, so I will walk us really briefly and quickly over why we're here, set the tone for the rest of our meeting. I do want to walk you all through what our vision is, our mission, and a couple of opportunities that are available. You might have heard about them before. We'll just briefly go through them so that they're anchored somewhere in your subconsciousness as you go through the exercises. And then we have 4 exercises. I won't read them through here because I do want a little bit of a surprise for you. And then we'll wrap it up with what's next and your next steps from here. So, why we're here. To me, when I was thinking about this question is, you're here because you want to explore meaningful ways to make an impact, regardless if it's from your book, a course, your methodology, or an idea that came to you. The thought is that you want to put it out in the world. And our particular why is that we've become so passionate in the last few years, especially Judy, as she's paving the way with all these networking and opportunities she's building for us and for our authors. We really want to change the landscape of how we learn. We want to make educational content fun again for kids. So we're playing in the realm of pure education content, edutainment, and entertainment. So the blend of all 3. And it's where you and most of our authors also live as well. So as a quick recap of what we've been doing, and I wanted to add this in here, not so much to spend time talking about what the opportunities are. When I send a replay, I could send you links if you wanted to explore exactly what each one is. But I want you to know what's possible. One of the places that we share quite a lot about is WTN as a network. And they have 2 tracks. The track that we can create content that teachers can purchase and teach in schools, which is mind-boggling. So just have that in your mind. And the track that is in progress to be open is a public one that you and I and everyone who is not a teacher can also get access to, and we can create courses and education and edutainment content there as well. So that's something to plant in the seed as you go over what has been done this year and moving into the next year. The next opportunity that Judy has been cultivating alongside a few of our partners is Squirrel Vision Network. Going a little bit more, still on courses, but more in the realm of creating more produced type of content, whether it's a TV show, a video style podcast, and playing a little bit in that realm. So that is an option if you needed inspiration. And last but not least, there's another channel that we've been cultivating a wonderful relationship with, and that's if you're interested in creating in the realm of movies, even short movies and shorts, and there's a whole realm of what's available there on more the entertainment side. So with that in mind, I know I kind of threw them at you really fast, but I wanted to plant the seed of whether you would want to fit somewhere in there or you have other ideas. The whole goal of sharing this is so that you can expand what's available, what's possible. Because I don't know about you, but sometimes if I don't know what's possible, I tend to limit myself. So hopefully it's almost a bit of a carte blanche as we move into the exercises. And with that in mind, we'll do our first one. So if you don't have a pen and a paper, something to write with, a blank Google document on your phone, on your computer, now's the time to gently get set up as I walk you through what we'll be doing. So the purpose of this first one is to take that inventory. If we don't take a moment to land exactly where we are in the truth of this particular moment in time regarding where you've been so far this year, what you have done, and what went well, what didn't go well, what needs to stay, what needs to go, it's a little bit hard. So on the next slide, I'll walk you through what you'll be writing. So as you get your pen and paper handy, make 3 columns on your page, or 3 sections if you're on a screen perhaps. One will be called What I Created. One will be called What I Shared. One will be called What I Learned or Grew Through. So this time we're gonna do something different. We're gonna have a 5-minute timer because the idea is to write it down instinctively, not to think too much about it. So we'll give ourselves 5 minutes to write down anything that you created. Was it your book progress? Was it did you write the first chapter, the first story? Did you create your first book? I know a few of you created your first 5 books last year. What did you do in terms of visibility? What did you share that you're most proud of? Were you proud that you even shared something at all online on social media? Right? Even in the realm of relationships and networking.
Anna Maria, I understand what I created and what I learned, but I don't quite understand what I shared.
So what you shared, I'm thinking online, on social, putting yourself out there to share your book, share your idea. Maybe you don't have anything about regarding a social media platform, and you're at the stage where you have those unrealized ideas yet. But maybe you took that first step and verbalized that you wanted to do something to your loved ones. Maybe you had a call with Judy and said, I want to publish my book. Just saying it out loud. So sharing that first um, almost instinct out. And for those who have your platform, your author platform or your business platform, um, anything like creating a website. Maybe you created a beautiful book landing page if you already have your book that you're incredibly proud of. Or shared a vulnerable post. Or you could keep it more broad and say, I started an Instagram account. I started a Facebook account. I have cultivated my newsletter.
I don't know if everyone's aware, there is a timer on screen, just so that everyone knows there's 2 minutes left. It really makes you think about what you've done and reflect back on the year.
And I find it's the small things we miss that maybe took a lot of courage to do. And that's what I'm more interested in, especially when we get to what I learned or grew through. It's not easy to put yourself out there to market, although it does come a lot easier to some than to others from what I have observed. I am one that it is not as easy.
There's so much to learn, though. You think when you start on something, you think, I got this. Then you get going into it, and it's like, wow, a lot of work. What amazing things I didn't already know or didn't know.
And if anyone, we have about a minute left. If anyone wants to share in the chat something that stood out, please feel free. We would love to celebrate you. And as you come to completion with writing that last sentence or that last thought or bullet point, know that you can come back to this. There is no, it's an initial grab it out of you attempt and put it on paper to get you started.
Last few seconds. If anyone needs more time, let us know, maybe.
Yes, I do. Hi, Judy. Hi, Anna.
Hi, Christine.
Thank you for inviting. I have a question about this. I'm sorry that I missed it very first minute because of the time. So it is about the WTN broadcast that you will, teach your book materials, right? Probably. And my question is that if so, then would it be like for only selective books that from the publishers, hash marks that we've been published the books with you guys, and then in couple of years later, what I want to have the result is that, like, probably I want to explore to another, like a passive income maybe, or like maybe I can even write the more of the books to the another level of I really don't have much idea, but I do love your invitations and your ideas for coming up. But in couple of years later, my question is that am I going to have some kind of, what kind of result am I looking at? with working with the published with the hash mark with WTN. That's my big question was, and then I would love to invest it, and I know that if that's what I'm looking at in a couple of years later, the results I'm looking at, then yeah, of course, and then growing together, and then absolutely. So
let me make sure that I rephrase so that I can make sure I understood your question.
thank you.
You have some ideas of what you want to create in terms of what comes next. And the first thing I'm going to share is don't only think about WTN. Think about broader than that and your course and what you want to put out in the world. And even as you go through the exercises, they will really help to solidify what will feel right for you as your next steps.
Mm-hmm.
So if it ends up being WTN because you want to have, because your goal is to have your teachings be taught in schools, then that will be the path you take. In terms of results, that I do not know. I don't have the numbers, but I will be asking Alex for a little bit more data. Because so far, it's been a little bit new to everyone. And I'm hoping that she can come back to us with a little bit more numbers-oriented type of information to help us make these better decisions, but from a more of a business perspective versus only it feels right. This is the path that I want to take. I want to teach children. I want children to learn from my body of work. So I don't know if that helps.
It does.
I think, I think to get back on point with your exercises, I think that's the best thing to do now. And then we'll go at the end, and if we've got time, then we start discussing avenues and directions and stuff like that. Because I think it's important with the limited time today that we stay on these exercises. Otherwise, we're going to lose the flow. So I didn't know if you, Anna Maria, you saw Kathy has a note in chat as well, which I think is exceptional.
I did. Kathy is celebrating, Kathy and Janet, that they won the Hasmark Award. You guys were exceptional. As to what we shared, we've got a regular newsletter going out to fans and followers and doing social media posts on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Wow, the trifecta. We began visiting libraries, asking them to bring in our books. As to what we've learned, we needed more exposure, advertising, marketing, interview, and media ops. That feels like a very big landing. We need to become regular visitors of our online stores, monitoring our sales and promotional opportunities. Indeed.
Fantastic. That's exactly what you were looking for exercise 1. Way to go, girl.
Yes.
Exactly.
There we go.
Exactly.
Well,
yes, well done.
It'll lead us beautifully into the next one because you spoke a little bit about the marketing aspect. And the next one of the things that I think is very important that we're constantly doing a check for is your public presence reflecting who you are today? And before I share a little bit more about the exercise, it's so important because often we get stuck into, have you heard the marketing bit where it says, oh, your ideal client is who you are, but maybe 5 steps ago or 5 or 10 years ago? But that can sometimes create too much of a gap, depending on, because you're always evolving. If you're in our world, I know that about you. You're always learning, pushing yourself to do something different. So you're constantly also assessing from that perspective as well. Am I representing myself online in the way that feels true to me, what I've learned, and who I am today? So it's a very quick exercise from that perspective. In 2 sort of columns or 2 separate areas. One, you're going to write down how you want to be seen, your ideal. And the other one, how you think you're currently being seen. And Judy's going to put up a 5-minute timer for us. As you ponder how you want to be seen, it could be very quick. So I wrote down their small adjectives, small, just I want to be seen confident, grounded, whatever that may be for you, knowledgeable. I want to be seen maybe softer because maybe you have a bit of a bite, or maybe you do need that bite because you're a little bit too soft in your messaging.
Oh, that one's a bit how I believe I'm currently seen. That's interesting, isn't it?
It's a good one.
How I believe I'm currently seen. I certainly hope how I want to be seen and how I believe are the same, but there are times that we aren't in alignment there.
And when you get to that one, think of things like, what do people respond to in the comments of your post? Do they respond to at all? Are you too neutral and not creating dialogue? Sometimes posts can be so complete. I'm so guilty of this one. I try to make a post that is very balanced in the sense of what I want to say, almost like essay structure, like from school, what my thesis is, my supporting points, and that's it. And it doesn't leave room for conversations sometimes. So I see that often online as well. So when you're looking at how you believe you're being seen, do a cross check of, are people responding to your newsletters, or are you hearing about it from friends that they saw something you did online and it was really neat and cool? And that gives you information as well. And as you begin to have the two lists, your question then becomes, well, what's one thing you could do to be seen more of as you want to be seen as? And as we're nearing the 2-minute mark, I just wanted to give some ideas. So right there, I said something. I just want to give you some ideas. The word just we could do away with. So what are some words that you use in your marketing efforts, and even just perhaps the way you present yourself? To me, just, like, in the speaking, even if your one thing is removing one of those words to strengthen your language, it could be as simple as that. Removing the word that, it just slides in everywhere.
Sometimes I think too is if we end up being too creative and we come up with multiple ideas, and then we start the marketing of those ideas, it ends up being that we're not as aligned to what we want to do. People will sometimes interpret it as confused or misaligned or not clear. So I find that that's one thing I encounter. I don't know how everyone else is doing or what everyone else is finding, but
You have about 40 seconds on the clock for this particular exercise. So as you kind of write down or jot down your final thought or sentence, of course, if anyone wishes to share, what did you find with this exercise in the chat? I love the melody it plays. You can't help it but to pause as the timer ends. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . .
That's cool.
I hope that was helpful. Our next exercise, we'll have a little bit longer for this one. It is intended to celebrate your milestones. So the list that you did in the first one, if you can go back to it, because our purpose in this one is to really anchor your success. And I said a sentence a little bit earlier that sometimes it's the small things that we don't realize how much courage it took to take that first step, that first leap. The outreach to the person that you thought was terrifying to do. I'm going to borrow from Kathy and yours, going to libraries, making time to do that and travel and da da da. That's commitment, right? But you need to celebrate those things. So I'll ask Judy if you could put the timer on even from now as well. So the idea is to circle your top 3 big things or your wins. And then for each of them, this is where it may take a little bit longer. Write what you did for it, what it required of you, and how it grew you. Right? So if you started, I'll use this as a very example, a newsletter to collect email addresses and grow your most intimate fan base. So what you did is started the newsletter. What it required of you could be the big thing was learning the tech behind it. Because the tech has a mind of its own. Maybe it required of you to be disciplined enough to commit to a writing schedule. Maybe it required of you to create a writing routine. Maybe it required of you to notice the shareable moments. Not all of us grew up with social media and with this whole idea of I'm going to share every moment of my life, or every moment of my life I can turn it into a post. That does not come natural to everyone. So it's a big deal in how it grew you. The last one, I showed myself I am someone who. So an example of your newsletter, if you can say to yourself, I showed myself I am someone who can do hard things, can overcome tech, can learn tech, can write. Whatever feels true to you. I'm just going to read Kathy's note as well. Honestly, I believe we are in alignment with our brand and messaging. We want to be seen as positive influencers, sage, wisdom, sisters, uplifting, encouraging. However, we do need to increase dialogue and engagement. We get some, but not much. Indeed.
And with that, I think the extension of that, I'm coming right from where you were, Anna Maria, is that when you're not used to the technology, when you're not used to the tools that are available today, it's how do you get more engagement? How do you get more dialogue when you're not used to the technology? Like our dialogue in the way I grew up is telephone and face to face, right? So how do you create dialogue with people who are strangers who you don't talk to on a phone, that type of thing, right?
Indeed. And social media has its own rules, which is don't be neutral, for example. Have a very strong stance. And it seems unnatural because we didn't grow up with conversations like if we met in person and in the schoolyard or whatnot. I'm not going to be polarizing to the cashier. it's, you know, at the grocery stores, I'm gonna be nice and ask about their day and how they're doing and whatnot. So it is a completely different ball game in the sense of
Yeah, because you met that person and you had an emotional exchange because not only did they hear your words, they saw. Whereas in today with emails and social media and stuff, they're only seeing words. So I know for me, the biggest thing that I've learned, and it's funny it's taken this long, is that emotions, how emotional things can be, words, emails, the website, for example, social media, stuff like that. It's quite a learning. I think it's a whole lot of fun though.
you are such a good sport about it, Judy. Whatever we throw your way tech-wise, you seem to
Yeah,
have.
it's like, yeah, okay. Even just setting the timer on here, I'm like, you can? There's a timer on these things? Okay, show me how, guys.
Yep, and she did it. She's a pro now.
Well, Jennifer's actually the pro. The pro, probably. I showed myself how to make the best use of others or ask for help is probably the biggest. That's the simplest version of that one. So definitely the simplest version.
We have about 4.5 minutes left, and I'm wondering if anyone has one of their celebrations they would like to share, whether in the chat or if you wanted to unmute and share. You're welcome to.
In your in oh someone I think someone's popped on.
Hello, hi, it's Valine Stone.
Ah,
I can't see that.
hello.
So, oh, okay, there's everybody. How you guys
Terrible.
doing? Yeah, there's so many things to share. This is so awesome. You're doing an amazing job. You know what's funny is I was going to email you yesterday to ask you what time it was at because I think the email didn't have the time, the reminder email, and I was like, I wanted to add it to my calendar. So I was a little bit late, and then I was first on my mobile phone because I just wanted to get in, you know. So this is so awesome, and the energy that you're bringing to is wonderful. And I know everybody. I'm speaking for myself, but I'm sure everybody here feels it as well. So thank you for doing this. And it's such a good time to reflect, but then also you want to be you don't want to really slow down. You want to like keep going into the new year, you know, especially doing what we do and sharing this message. So my win is and thank you for all that you've done. And Jen, is Jen here? I didn't see her. Oh,
Yes.
okay. Hi, Jen.
Jen
Oh,
is here.
for some reason, I had my screen was messed up. Okay, so yes, thank you to all of you for everything you did for launching my children's book. I mean, I'm actually I was technically a published author. I launched 2 books this year, so that's amazing. The other one I did on my own, and it was purely like monetary. It was just a monetary thing, you know, more than anything. And it's not perfect, but that message will get out there. That the other book is called my book I launched with Hasmark is the Little Inventor, and that's my baby. I've been working on that thing forever. Not forever since I started writing it in 2021. So I have it right here. This is actually a little frayed because we carry it around. We were at the tree
Oh, wow.
down with it, but it's getting that message out there to the world and realizing, okay, so you've launched a book. Now what do you do? It's like there's so much the the amount of growth that you have from the moment you first start to like write the book, and because this is the first book that I ever wrote, and I started with a tiny little kid sized booklet. And I actually like I don't know if anybody else did this, but I like wrote I would allocate the time and I would write and do it. So I'm just so proud that it's out to the world, and the illustrations are beautiful, and people are absolutely loving it. I just got an email from that first class that I read it to. It's second grade class. Um, this woman made me, I couldn't even believe it. I walked in, it was a totally different school district than the school district I live in. And so I didn't know anybody except for her, the woman that I met. I met her at the beach a few days prior, and her daughter introduced me to her. She's the ninth grade daughter was like, "You have to meet my mom. You're a children's book author." She's like, "She would love to know about your book." She bought my book on the beach. And a couple days later, a week later, I'm in her classroom and she had my name on the wall. And I was like, oh my gosh. And the kids were so excited like to meet me. And then they were asking, they were 6, 7 years old, and they were like, where's Chase? Where's Cameron? And they just wanted to know all about the illustration process. They wanted to know about being an author. And I was excited about the content, like the inspiration and the story about creating something great every day. That's the story behind this particular book, The Little Inventor. And there's just so much. Roxy, come here. I'm so sorry. That's Roxy. She woke up. I woke her up.
No,
Here.
we're celebrating as Roxy comes in. We're celebrating your impromptu beach meeting that led into this amazing classroom visit.
Yeah, and you never know. And so right before hopping on this call, I got an email from her. She wants me to come back in the new year, and they already asked me to be a part of their Read Across America week in March. So that's so cool, and then it's funny because the school district I live in, I know them. I've worked there. I have kids that have been through both my boys been through the elementary school, kindergarten through fifth or fourth. And it's like, I think because they know me, it's like laid back, but it's okay. The message will get out there. And my other book is my Fit and Fabulous book, The Secret to Your Dream Body in 3 Simple Steps. But that's all about the mission behind that is to really help people achieve the results they desire for the body and mind that they want, that they really desire and feel. It's not necessarily about my workouts, which I love working out and dancing and inspiring people that way, but that's gonna evolve and change. And it's about programming the mind. So I really, it's so fun doing this because I'm like super creative, and I can't wait to write more books in the Creative Genius book series as well. So super pumped, and I appreciate you guys so much, and being nominated for the award too as well, and being connected with all of you. I've been I don't know if Scott's on here, but I was actually going to message him to see if he was available. I know it's probably kind of early for him, but um, I've been connecting with him, and it's just great, because of the meeting, because of the award ceremony. It's just amazing the connections that we're all creating and the impact of lives that we all are doing with our books.
And I am celebrating that you are noticing the opportunities and taking them and moving, no matter where they lead, they're leading into a great space for you. So that is worth it. Oh, thank you for your share, Valine.
Thank you. Thanks for listening. And thank you for getting out there. And I know Jen at the end, we've been working on this for so long, and at the very end, she had to like go through and re-edit it all. I was like, I felt her pain, not her pain, but because that's part of the process, right? That's what we do. I mean, we doing it together. You're helping us get our books out to the world. It's like, I'm like, I wish I could like sit with you. We'll just sit and do it. Let's do it together. It's I'm just so.
One day, maybe we will be able to do that. Well, we have one more exercise for everyone. And this one is not one that you're particularly meant to finish today, but it's one that is meant to start anchoring where you're going next. So the purpose is to determine what stays, what goes, and what evolves. And one of the hardest things, and that's why I wanted to include this one in particular, is if there's anything that you started that is not working, that is not giving you the results you need, it's draining you, it's all those things, it's time to let it go. And sometimes that is one of the most difficult things to do, especially if we've put in effort, time, or money into that endeavor. So I started with that little negative one, but really it's meant to start putting things in context for what they are. So again, with my boxes and sections, but if you can have one section for what you're going to keep, one section for what needs to evolve, so you're keeping it, but perhaps it's not working in its current way, and what you need to release. And it could be something more material, or it could be something more internal from your inner work as well, right? So for me, I'll give you my release of the one I'm constantly working on, it seems like, is my people-pleasing instinct. I want to release that, or I should say, I want to evolve it. It's serving me well, but I want to evolve it. And I'm constantly playing with what that looks like.
What I liked about that one, Anna Maria, it was keep, evolve, release. Because you can keep it, you can evolve it, and you can release it. Because it's got the good, the not so good, and then the how do you evolve it so that it finds its balance. So I think whenever I see anything like that, I think it's because the core of me was math, accounting. So there's always circular. And that becomes a start and an end. And it's actually an evolution. And that's
Yeah.
really what life is like, right?
Yeah. And even on a more practical level in your business, it is an exercise worth doing. And you may not have all the answers because maybe you do need to look at some real life data to make a call. But it's worth asking the questions. Especially looking at your time. Where are you spending a lot of time and it's not going so well? That could be a clue. Another prompt is, where do you feel excited to do more, but a little nervous at the same time? Like Janet, how you suggested in the chat that you're doing videos. That's exciting and terrifying all at the same time.
Can I say something that I think was such a big it was an eye opener when my book when talking about it was or going taking a video of it, right? It was I'm used to like I go live, I do workouts, so that's easy for me. Like I used to read with the boys live. We used to do all that kind of stuff, but going live on Facebook isn't really the best thing anymore. It's like better if you just quick record and then post and make a quick reel. So anyway, so the moment I got the book, I literally was coming from my first ever Pilates class, never took one before. A friend of mine was teaching it. Walked in the door with my neighbor by my side, and I was like, this is the book. So I had my first unboxing moment, and I literally was, not ready, like no makeup. I didn't go like set it up and make this perfect spot. I just intuitively knew. I was like, just record me, please. So I walked into my neighbor's apartment because I happen to live in an apartment building. And on the way, I didn't even go inside my place. I didn't have my dog next to me or anything. My boys weren't home, but I just did it. Like, and literally, I had him record me, which made me nervous. It's not funny. Like, put me, put the, I don't know. It's just funny when you do something differently. Sometimes, you're breaking through a terror barrier. So he just recorded me. And we're not like best friends, but we're friends. It was just so funny because I was like, oh gosh, what am I saying? Was what I'm saying good? And it was just awesome because it was like totally candid. I had like no makeup on. I mean, I had no makeup on. I was like, guys, it's here. The book is here. I'm so excited. And I just opened it and I did it like real, authentic. It was like, and I got a lot of, obviously people are excited about it too because of my energy, because I was excited about it. But anyway, sometimes we overthink these things, and sometimes the best is like not is just being authentic and not worrying about it, and you'll break through. And now that makes me realize the more we share, like if you do unboxing, or even if you just if you haven't done it already with your book, you can still do it. You can still just bring your book up and say, guys, look at this, And
Yeah.
so good. and read it, maybe even read a page or two, or like a little excerpt from it, just to share with the world. Just it'll make a little 20-second clip, post it. People love that. I haven't done that yet, so I'm going to be adding that to my list.
On the list. It's on the keep list, it sounds like, doing more impromptu, authentic shares. I love your share. Thank you.
Can I jump in there for just a quick second?
Yes, of course.
Valley, that was so awesome. The last thing you said is a short read from your book. I think that's absolutely brilliant. Um, my family got together last weekend. We do this traditional thing. We celebrate the Feast of Saint Nicholas every year. It was something I grew up with as a young child. And my grandchildren range in age from 7 to 12. There's four of them. And they're all into this 6-7 thing, which is ridiculous. The 6-7 silliness trend, 6-7. And then everybody breaks out in a belly laugh. And I am actually 67. So I wanted to let them do that. And we did a very short video of that. And so I never had used a reel on Facebook ever. And it was so funny that I did it. I put that on as a reel. And then I've had like hundreds of people watching that reel. And I never expected that. But I think it's like that was something that taught me, yes, do short videos, find a way to engage. Back to the question of how do we increase dialogue and engagement? And yay for Janet going to YouTube and establishing her YouTube and getting some engagement there, which she might want to speak to that, like what kind of engagement she started seeing and how surprising it was. So anyway, this is really, really helpful, and I'm so glad you guys invited us to this today. Thank you so much. So I think from the project and the books and the work that we're doing, and also kind of reflection on me personally, it's really kind of hitting me emotionally at a personal level what you're doing today. So thank you for that.
I'm so glad to hear it. It's really meant to be a drop in and be with yourself moment, that's for sure. Oh, and celebrating so much your impromptu reel recording, that is amazing. And maybe that's what you keep and evolve for sure. And it's a testament to what actually works online now, not the super curated type of videos. I do think they have a time and a place, but people want to see something real. We're in 2026 in a few weeks, so lots changed in social media since it came out. All right. So I hope that you can maybe keep these exercises or your notes or either your full lines. I have a feeling, for some reason, Janet, I have a feeling yours is like perfectly like written out and you're like on the ball with it. I would be like, I'm still in like scribbly mode. But it really is meant to stay with you even throughout December. Think about it. I do really well with letting things simmer and sit and contemplate. And if you do that as well, it's an invitation. In terms of what comes next, I wanted to share that in January, we'll sort of pick up from where we left off and have this sort of like grounded place of where we're at, what we're keeping, what we're evolving, what we're releasing. And we're going to go into more of, all right, what are we actually going to do? What's on the docket? What's going to be priority? And what are the steps we're actually going to take? So I do invite you to save the date for January 14th. It'll be at noon this time. So not to worry, I'll send out emails and socials so that you have them. And in the meantime, we are always going to invite you to be a creator, whether you do it on your own in one way, shape, or form, or if you would love to join the Creator Circle. It's I almost want to call it, it's a 3-month mastermind where we create your next thing. I know December is busy in its own way, and I love how, Kathy, you said St. Nick, because we have December 6th as well. That is a really fun holiday too. So enjoy, ponder, check out the Creator Circle. I'll leave you with a link as well in the replay. Or book a call with us if you wanted to chat more about what comes next. You know the opportunities that we have in terms of WTN, Scroll, or Best Ever Channel. If you're curious about them, book a call and let's talk about it. Let's see where we can fit you in and move from there. So big thank you for everyone for pouring your hearts out on the page, or even just your thoughts. Lisa, I know you were driving, so I hope it was still useful and thought-provoking as well. And for those of us that are on Team Replay, feel free to leave your answers in the comments or your shares if you wanted to, and we'll be happy to hear them as well.
This is awesome. You've done a phenomenal job. I have a whole notebook full of ideas and comments, and part of the lesson. I found it extremely wonderful to be part of it as well, even though it's sitting here as part of what we do. So thank you everyone for joining us. We're thrilled to have you here today, and I think what everyone's doing in the sharing is absolutely wonderful. Continue to keep anyone would like to email us. We're happy to answer emails anytime. Get on the call. So wish everyone the absolute best season coming, and a prosperous, wonderful new year if we don't talk to you before that. So thank you everyone, and hopefully we see you before, but if not, we'll see you January 14th, right?
14.
Thanks, Anna Marie. Thanks everyone. Okay, have the
Everyone.
most amazing day, everyone.